friends, what is up? How's it going? Good day to you. I am out and about with my buddy, just cruising on the back roads here in the hill country of Austin, Texas. We're actually, I think we're in Leander, Texas, but that's a northern suburb of Austin. Just want to talk about this BMW ASA clutchless system. Of course, there's a clutch in the gearbox, whatever, but clutch lever. I have yet to ride one. I've heard all kinds of wonderful things about them. Debates going back and forth between people saying that no way, I'm not going to do that, I wouldn't use it, blah, blah, blah. I obviously have to wait until I get my butt in the saddle on one of those and test it for myself in automatic mode and manual mode. But for me, I can say that it really depends on how your ride is how is it going to intervene or be a benefit to you, this ASA. I would say if you have an RT or a GS and you like to go cross state lines, do really long haul rides, an auto mode, I think probably be amazing. It'd be great. It'd just make the experience of those long trips a little bit more comfortable, not have to worry about gears as much. But then for people like me that just kind of ride around, I'm like within a 5-hour radius kind of my house of where I ride. What benefit would it be for me and the way I ride? So this is the way I ride, and then you can make some comments hopefully or kind of add on to this. My blinker was on. So the way I ride basically is two ways, and I think probably a lot of people do this as well. There's days that I want to go a little faster, or I'm in the twisties. For me, I use the quick shifter a lot for that. So I'm going first gear to second, of course, is the clutch, and second to third, unless I'm really getting on the throttle, is typically the clutch, and then third, fourth, fifth to sixth is just quick shifter, which would be the same as the manual mode of the ASA, because you still have the gear shifter on the bottom at your, by your foot there, and you can shift through the gears manually if you want. There's just not you just don't have to activate a clutch lever to do it. So basically it's just like a quick shifter. And then on the way down from 6th to 5th, 4th, 3rd, all the way down to 1, I typically use the quick shifter on all my downshifts. It has an auto blip, and so I don't know, I just use that quite a bit. On the days that I want to do some like wind therapy, enjoy the environment, and just really kind of absorb nature and the road and all that stuff, I clutch everything. First to second, third, fourth, just so it's really smooth. I'm not getting on the throttle hard. I'm just, again, like enjoying my time in the saddle. And I don't ride two up, but if you do, that's another important part. If you ride two up a lot, you're going to want as smooth as possible shift transition. So you're going to want to use a clutch to make sure that your passenger isn't slamming into the back of you or your button helmets. So if you're riding two up a lot, I doubt people are using the quick shifter and getting on a throttle real hard. Otherwise they're going to have some headbutting going on. See, that whole transition right there all the way to first gear was done with the quick shifter. Smooth, no big deal. Clutch, third gear. So you get a little bit of a bump on third gear, but after that, fourth, fifth, sixth are fine as long as you're on the throttle. But that's it. Until I get to trying, I'll have to wait until the BMW demo truck comes by, because we don't typically at the dealerships around here, they don't typically have demo bikes for you to just go in and sign up and take one for a ride. unfortunately. So when I get to test ride a lot of BMWs is typically when the demo truck comes by, and I go through and test as many bikes as I can. I have ridden the new 1300 Boxer, which is the R1300 GS. I rode that a while ago, but it didn't have the ASA, still had a clutch. I've heard good things about it, but until I get on it or I hear more from other people, I'm gonna reserve my judgment. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to touch base with you and see, what's out there. I know European countries already have all the new Boxer engines and have the ASA for all the bikes available pretty much. I see on Instagram people taking delivery of, the other day I saw a lady take delivery of a new the R1300 RS. I haven't even seen that in person yet, let alone be able to buy one. So you guys definitely have a benefit there, getting bikes quicker than we do. And if you're not familiar with my bike, like you haven't watched my videos before, or this is the first one you've ever seen, just to let you know, this bike it's a 2020 BMW R1250 RS, and it has a titanium system on it with a akrapovic slip-on, and it has a Bren tune from BT Moto. So that does affect a little bit of the shifting and engine braking, idling, all that kind of stuff. So my bike's not going to be exactly the same as every other RS. Something unrelated to the ASA system. I was sitting on my friend's RS the other day, and he has the bar risers. A lot of people get those. Just it brings the handlebars up about an inch and back about an inch. And I personally, and he has the tubular bars as well, so he doesn't have the swept back kind of pseudo clip-ons like I have, that are angled backwards a little bit like a true sport bike. I just really like the way it looks, and I never wanted to mess with it. I didn't want to get the tubular bars, I didn't want to get the risers. But because I got the Sergeant C, the regular, and their regular is actually a shorter version of the regular BMW, and I didn't know that at the time, but what it did basically is it lowered me down about 1.5 inches approximately on the seating position, so which manipulated or changed the riding triangle. So where I grip these handlebars is pretty much the same exact feeling as my friend's bike with the risers, because he's got the original stock seat, which puts you up higher, which causes you to reach farther for the handlebars. But that was interesting. I didn't really think too much about that. And it's only applicable to people that are shorter riders. If you're over 6 foot, you definitely don't want the seat to go down more, otherwise you're going to be really cramped up on the bike. I'm 5'8" with a 30-inch inseam, and on long rides occasionally I feel a little cramped up, but not bad at all. So I can pretty much 95% flat foot this bike with this setup I have now. With the stock seat, I was on the balls of my feet. I wasn't flat foot, but I also wasn't like on my tippy toes. So I just thought I'd pass that around, for people that are about my size. If you like the handlebars and like the sporty look, that kind of swept back, kind of clip-on look, then you might consider getting a Sergeant seat, a lowered seat by 1.5 inches, and it'll put your arms pretty much in the same position as having bar risers. But yeah, let me know what you think about this ASA. If you've ridden it, if you have one, thoughts, that'd be awesome. Thanks so much. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe so you get access to all those videos that pop up. It's free to do and it helps me out a lot. And that's it. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.